So as she grew up, she distanced herself from her mother as much as she could. And she realized early on that she was never going to make her mother happy. So she didn't spend a lot of time trying. She put her effort out into her education and her achievements. So rather than turn this narcissistic mother wound outward and try to make her and everyone else happy, people pleasing, she turned it inward and became a perfectionist. So, perfectionism or control was Amelia's mother wound. Now, Amelia's story is all too familiar. When love feels conditional, we often turn that pain into survival strategies, like perfectionism, that disconnect us from our true selves. Hello, everyone. You are listening to Separation to Oneness, and I welcome you. I'm Nikki Hughes, and we will delve into the profound subjects of life, love, and spirituality. We are going to investigate and reveal how to live from that limitless reservoir of happiness, care, and resilience. And then once there, how we can allow ourselves to move into the space of bliss, the connection to everything. And that's what I call oneness. And so to find out more about my work, please visit my website. I am at elementalbalance.ca. I really hope you enjoy this episode, and if you feel it's valuable, I ask that you would kindly share it with someone who's important to you. Amelia is an empath who grew up with a narcissistic mother who was cruel and cutting and totally favored her brothers. They could do no wrong, and Amelia could do no right in her mother's eyes. At least that's how it felt to her. She felt unlovable. She had low self-worth, low self-value as a young child. And she discovered early on, though, that she was highly intelligent. She was a very, very smart kid. And she made a choice to throw herself into education and then into her work. Okay, so as she grew up, she distanced herself from her mother as much as she could. And she realized early on that she was never going to make her mother happy. So she didn't spend a lot of time trying. She put her effort out into her education and her achievements. So rather than turn this narcissistic mother wound outward and try to make her and everyone else happy, people pleasing, she turned it inward and became a perfectionist. So perfectionism or control was Amelia's mother wound. Now, Amelia's story is all too familiar. When love feels conditional, we often turn that pain into survival strategies, like perfectionism, that disconnect us from our true selves. So, welcome to Separation to Oneness, where we explore the journey home to your truest self, the place of oneness and bliss. So, today's episode is rather a tender one. It's about the wounds we carry, often from our earliest relationships, and how they shape our worth, our relationships, and our ability to receive love. So, core emotional wounds, especially those that are rooted in your mother and father relationship, those are often those invisible barriers to self-love that get put in place when you're a child that kind of blocks your heart and it blocks you from your spiritual connection. If you can't access the light in your heart, it's really hard to access who you are on a grander scale. So I'm going to cover today what these are, how to identify them, and then help you start the healing process through a guided hypnosis meditation session. Great. So I'm super excited to be talking about this. And the reason why I'm excited about this is I'm actually letting the universe guide me a little bit into what themes I should be talking about. And I have had a lot of clients over the last couple of weeks where we've gone right into the wounding, that core wounding. So the wound of abandonment and rejection, the wound of shame, suppression, not enough. There's a lot of us walking around thinking that they're not enough, they're not good enough, they're not worthy, they're not deserving. There's wounds of guilt, wounds of judgment. All of these and more create behaviors and patterns that work in the moment they're put in place to achieve something, but they end up causing problems throughout your life and need to be healed. They need to be recognized and healed. So Amelia was running this perfectionism need for many years based on being judged, based on being unloved, and she turned that inward. Okay, she could have easily played that wound out as people pleasing, needing to make everybody happy, or even a combination. I often see there's combinations of these things. But in her case, she didn't people please, but she did push herself for perfection, personal perfection and personal achievement as her measure of self-worth rather than the value of her mother's love. So what are those core emotional wounds? So they are the deep-seated energetic imprints that are formed in your early relationship dynamics. We all have them, and it can come from a mother, a father, it can be reinforced through family, it can be reinforced through society, and they end up becoming the long-held patterns of our behavior, our mindset, and the thought processes, the things that keep spinning in our heads that run underneath everything, right? They run unconsciously until one day you wake up and go, oh, there's that pattern. They're kind of there to help us wake up a little bit, or they can help us move through that process. Or until one day when you're just tired, so tired of feeling that old negative feeling and that difficult mental thoughts around yourself. So these wounds live in the unconscious. Okay. And it's our job in our life to bring them to the conscious, to your conscious awareness. They live in the unconscious and the energetic body, and they impact your relationships, adult relationships. They can impact marriages, how you deal with your children. They can impact your self-worth and your spiritual growth. It's the big underlying theme or pattern that's running your life. Now, the negative message or feeling that just keeps cropping up is your biggest clue. I see a lot of clients who come in and say, I just feel like I'm just not good enough. I just don't deserve this, or I just don't deserve that. And that comes from a place of judgment, neglect, shame, whatever that is that happened in the family or in the larger societal place, because it can happen through relationships with our friends as well when we're young. So these often include rejection, abandonment, betrayal, humiliation, shame, and the trauma of neglect. And don't kid yourself, neglect, if you're a child and you're being neglected, that's traumatic. You can look at your driving needs if you want to. So what is the need that's pushing you to help you identify what it is that's running underneath? Now, when I asked my client Tara, who was experiencing depression, which parent were you trying to make happy? Ooh, she was a little surprised by that. And she very clearly identified her father. Her father was never happy with her, and she never ever truly felt accepted by him. His love always felt conditional, she said, tied to achievement, performance, or behaving in a certain way. So not only did she feel judged by him, she spent a lot of her time in her head judging others. She took in that behavior as a way of being, and yes, and just like that little mirror that's running all the time, that judgment was actually self-judgment. When you're outside judging the world, you're actually judging yourself. And that stopped her from feeling good about herself and working on self-acceptance, being able to accept the beautiful human that she is. So that self-judgment separated her from her true self. And when you're far away from your own light, that darkness becomes depression. Okay, so the father wound was deeply embedded in her story, driving the overwork, the self-judgment, and the need for validation and acceptance in her relationships. And when she didn't get it, she would judge others, right? Because that's protection. So we worked on healing that core father wound, moving her into self-acceptance to lift the depression and allow her to feel her own light again. What a beautiful thing. So I want to be really clear here when I'm talking about these core wounds. This is not about blame. This is never, rarely ever created with intention from a parent. We really hope not. It's not about blame, but it's about awareness and then the healing, because we all have them. You can love your mother and your father deeply, but still be the wounded child where that wound's been activated and it needs to be cleared. So I have clients who swear they've had the best clients ever, but yet they have core wounds running. And it doesn't have to be from big things. It can be a series of small things, just the way that little child took something in and made some kind of meaning out of it, or from observed patterns, like watching a parent judge, feeling that judgment and watching them judge everything around them, and behaviors and from reinforcement from others. So oftentimes the wound is present, but then it gets deepened by our experiences around us and the things that we bring to ourselves, the magnetized um, uh, uh, opportunities, the magnetized situations that just deepen it. And I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. Okay. So we're going to talk about the mother father wound. We're going to go through how to identify a core wound and how to heal it. So, what is the mother wound and the father wound? Okay. So, what is that kind of wounding? Now, I'm going to talk a bit for a minute about me. So, I recently went to a wonderful soul based healer. Her name's Tammy Grantham, and she's awesome. And yes, I am human and I do all of my own work too. And we talked about wounding, how I've healed my mother wound, yay, and I feel that I still have some of the father wound to go. Now, I love my dad, and he's a wonderful person, but some things happen when we're young, and we take it in, and that's what we carry on with. And I actually thought I had it all done, but since I'm still here on this planet, it means I have more to go. So I also want to point out that healing is circular. Okay. So energy is circular and so is the healing. So when you think you've cleared something out, you may find a short time or even a longer time later, a little bit more comes back up because we're healing almost in a spiral. And it can be kind of disconcerting when you think you've done all the work and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, there it is again. Holy smokes, I thought I got it done. So it comes back up because there's little energetic bits that still exist that need to come up. I know I've said this a lot on my podcast. We're like onions, so we peel, 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 and underneath we might find a little bit more. This is your opportunity to really get into the depths and pull it out. So, and I got to tell you, it's happening a lot right now because suppression's starting to lift through our greater consciousness expanding. So if you're finding that you've got a lot of stuff coming up, it could be because you're doing the work. It could be because of the energies out there just sort of unpacking us, whether you like it or not. So if stuff that you thought was gone comes back, it's because of circular healing. And you may just have a little more to go. It might not be big. Okay, so there's some hope there. I also want to talk for a minute about generational wounds and patterns too, because I think this is really important. So we heal and activate generationally. So you think about the way that our generations are layered. So for example, let's say that your grandma was a control freak. Mine wasn't, but let's just say she was a control freak and had a million and one rules and boundaries, and it didn't give your mom any autonomy or freedom because it's super unbalanced. And I got to tell you, that unbalanced control is fear. Okay, so your mom decides as she grows up that I'm not going to be like my mom. I'm going to not be like her at all. So she grows up, she has kids, maybe you, right? And she's so permissive, she doesn't really give you boundaries. And there are no rules because that was just a big thing for her and she hated being caged in. So your mom thinks it's great, but you might be having an experience. And although you're having the experience that she didn't, you may be now experiencing the need for boundaries and structure. Like you might be craving that because I think in some ways we all need it, right? So both of those things are kind of out of balance. Too much control, too much permissiveness. And perhaps you get into trouble without that structure. So you decide, I am definitely going to do it differently with your own children. So you have kids and you make sure there's lots of rules because you didn't have any, right? And so do you see what's happening here? The generational pattern just keeps going of control, permissiveness, control, permissiveness. And hopefully as you go down through the generations, it weakens, it weakens, it weakens. In some cases, some generations just go, yeah, no, not dealing with that at all, and I'm done. Just depends on your own level of consciousness, your own level of awareness, where you are in the cycle. So hopefully it comes into balance quickly, and doesn't have to take that 7 generations of this stuff to work through. Okay, so let's talk about the mother wound for a moment. So the mother wound, the feminine wound, is linked to receiving, to nurturing, emotional safety, the feminine, intuition, and worthiness. Okay, so some signs that you may have a mother wound running. Are you people pleasing? Do you overgive? Do you not put yourself first? Do you not feel safe to express your needs? Do you have difficulty receiving? So receiving love, receiving anything, right? We have to learn that balance of giving and receiving. Okay, pardon me. So the father wound. So the father wound is connected to protection, your identity, power, boundaries, action, and the masculine energies, right? So some signs that you may have some issues in the father wound line is maybe you have self-doubt, you doubt yourself, difficulty trusting, fear of authority, feeling unsupported or unseen. Okay, those are some signs that you may have a father, an active father wound that needs some work. Now, I want to be really clear that both men and women carry these wounds. It has nothing to do with your gender identity. Think of it more as a masculine energy and a feminine energy wounding. And it's just the roles that those people played to activate those things in you so you could do the healing. And know, please know that every time you do that healing work, you are helping heal the collective. You are doing that work on behalf of yourself, but you're also healing the collective at the same time. So the collective thanks you. Now, earlier I mentioned having great parents. What if you had great parents and a fantastic upbringing? Well, yay, that's wonderful. And what if it's not a parent wound? What if it feels like it isn't a parent wound? It might not be, but I bet if you dig in, there may be some sort of link to one of your parents, or to the masculine or to the feminine. Perhaps it comes in through a series of partners or through your school. So Allison, a client, came to me in her 40s and she was really struggling with chronic self-doubt and anxiety in relationships, just a lot of anxiety. So at a first glance, it looked like a school wound. So yeah, because all of the traumas that she experienced came from school, right? So she had learning difficulties, a lot of learning difficulties, and it just kept perpetuating that she wasn't the same as everybody else. She wasn't fitting in. She didn't keep up with the schoolwork as easily as everybody else did, and so that just really opened up that I'm not good enough. And it was reinforced by feeling different in her family. She was the kid who struggled. And it turned out that this really was a father wound. It started there, with her father not really accepting the fact that she was challenged at school and had this learning issue. Um, but the school experience just deepened it and reinforced it and actually brought it right to the surface and created this systemic sets of not violence, systemic sets of trauma in her energy field, and which changes the way you create your programming. Okay, so we did a lot of clearing work with her to get her right back down into her own confidence. All right, so how do we identify a core wound? All right, let's get there. How do we identify a core wound? So, to identify a core wound, this masculine, feminine, mother, father, however you want to say it, you need to see the pattern or the driving need that's propelling you in your life. And you can ask these questions. So, I'm going to give you a series of questions now, and I want you to really be honest in your answers. And you don't have to do it right now, just write the questions down and take them away and just do some really deep reflection on it. Okay, so the first question, as a young child, teen, or young adult, how did my mother make me feel? What was the core, was there a core negative feeling? Did I feel unloved, judged, not happy? Did I feel shame? Did I feel not worthy? So just let that percolate for a minute. And then, am I able to receive? Do I feel nurtured? Do I feel emotionally safe and worthy? Do I people please, overgive? Do I not feel safe to express my needs? Do I have difficulty receiving love, allowing the receiving energies in? Am I okay with my feminine energy? Okay. So just making note of that to understand where you are potentially with the mother wound or not. Okay. So the second line of inquiry, of course, is going to be around the father, the masculine. So as a child, a teen, a young adult, how did my father make me feel? What was the core negative feeling? Was there a core negative feeling around my dad? Did I feel unloved? Did I feel unsafe? Did I feel judged? Did I feel not happy? Was there shame or unworthiness in there? Okay, and then you can also ask, am I able to feel protected? Do I feel protected? Do I feel safe? Do I feel powerful? Do I feel my own power? Do I feel boundaried? Do I feel like I can take action? And do I feel like I'm okay with masculine energy? Okay, do I have self-doubt, difficulty trusting, fear of authority, feel unsupported or unseen? Now, this is a lot. And so please don't be worried if you feel like, oh gosh, I have all of those. Because at some point or other, we're all going to go through feeling some of these things. And sometimes we feel a lot of them all at once or one at a time, or they feed into something bigger. So this is just an exercise to really get you thinking about your the feminine line and the masculine line and how it showed up for you as a kid. Okay. And then you can ask yourself sort of what pattern do I keep repeating in my life? What pattern do I keep repeating in my life that's not helping me? Or what do I keep telling myself about me that's negative? What is that negative message that keeps showing up for me? I know for a lot of my clients, it's I'm not good enough. Oh, there it is again. I'm not good enough when that situation comes up. I have to hang back because I'm not good enough, whatever that is. So just thinking about the pattern that you may be repeating in your life or what you keep telling yourself about who you are in this world, in this body. Okay. And then the final question, where do I still abandon myself? Okay. So that'll give you an idea of the area that you may need a little help with. Okay. So these are some tender spots in the heart. That are being identified so that you can do some healing work, which is really important. So it's really, really important to acknowledge that pain and suffering with this stuff that comes up, if it's still there, that you like honor it with compassion. It's important that you're very compassionate with yourself. Treat yourself the way you would want to treat one of your best friends who was in having a painful moment, right? This is the wounded child that you are accessing while you are doing this exploration work. This wounded child wants to feel better. We all want to feel better, all of the parts of us. So, how would you treat a child in emotional pain? I'm assuming you'd be kind and compassionate, nurturing and loving. So, with a loving and compassionate heart. So, we're going to do a little guided hypnosis meditation to help heal this younger you and allow you to move even deeper into empowerment, to just allow yourself to become aware and let go. And that'll start the healing journey for you. I can't guarantee that it's going to be over when you're finished with this meditation, this guided exercise, but you will have a firm foothold into the path forward to create this healed experience, right? And let this stuff go because you don't need to pack it around with you anymore. You don't need to be in the pattern. This is about identifying the pattern and stepping over it. Okay. So it's important when you are accessing this kind of information about yourself that number one, you're compassionate and that you can be kind of the observer of it, the curious observer rather than the judger. Okay. No judgment. So just being the observer. Oh, there it is. That's interesting. So you can see the wound. It's not who you are. That is not who you are. When you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough, that actually isn't who you are. That's just your wound. But it is a layer that's to be healed. Okay, so let's see. We're going to learn to love the parts that we were taught to hide or reject. And oftentimes, because of the patterning and the wounding, we did learn to hide a part of ourselves. And often it's a younger part. So we're just going to go through now. Let's take a moment to just get ready to do this guided meditation and get yourself comfortable. Okay, so let's just take a moment now and move inwards. Just finding a nice quiet place, soften your body, and allow yourself to receive this healing with an open heart. And I will create a separate video for this so you don't have to find it, or I'll timestamp it so you can come back to this if you don't want to do it now. So this is going to be about connecting to the inner child, okay, and doing some healing work. So just finding that quiet place, soften your body, and just allow yourself to receive, even if receiving's hard. For today, we'll make it easy. All right, so just focusing on your breath now. And just gently allowing your eyes to close. And you can allow yourself to send relaxation throughout your body, to just relax in this moment. And you might notice how the breath feels as it comes in through the nose and fills your lungs, and how it feels as you exhale, just releasing all of the tension. So just breathing in beautiful energy and exhaling tension, exhaling stress, just letting it all loosen and let go. That's it. Just taking a few more breaths and just feeling everything inside the body relax as you just go deeper into relaxation. That's right. And you might notice how it feels to be supported by the furniture that you are sitting or laying on. And you might notice how heavy your eyes are feeling. And you might notice the beautiful rhythm of your heartbeat, knowing that your blood pressure is calming as you just let go. And you can just sink deeper into this wonderful moment of healing. And just feel yourself now in your heart. Notice how it feels to be in your heart. And you can imagine that you are breathing through your heart, where you can feel the air moving in through the heart and out through the heart, expanding warm relaxation to your whole body. That's right. Just go deeper to that wonderful, wonderful place where it's easy to just let go and allow yourself to have these few minutes to heal. And in this wonderful heart space, as you calibrate all of your energy, to your beautiful breath, allowing it to slow down and move at its own divine and beautiful pace. Just imagine that you are stepping into a beautiful, magical, mystical, safe space in your mind. And just see yourself there. And if you don't see, that's okay. You can see, feel, or imagine that you are there. And if you're someone who struggles to allow something in, you can just imagine you're in a beautiful meadow. Just put yourself there now. Or go to your magical, mystical, safe space. That's right. And take a moment and just notice where you are. Notice what's around you. Notice the colors. Notice the sounds, if there are any. Notice the temperature and how it feels. Notice any smells. And if it feels good for you, you can invite a spirit helper in. You can invite in a sage, a saint, an angel, a guide, an animal. Whatever feels right for you, you can just invite that spirit helper in to help you in this moment in your beautiful, safe space. Because you know you are safe. You are supported in every moment. You are love itself. And we're going to invite your higher self in now, that part of you that stays out of the body and very loosely guides you to make sure you stay on track. That beautiful part of you that knows everything about you and loves you unconditionally. So just allow that beautiful higher self in now. Notice how your higher self has presented itself to you now. Does it look like you? Does it look like energy? There's no wrong way to do any of this. Just allow. That's right. And just allow your higher self to stand on one side, your spirit helper to stand on the other. Feel how good it feels to be supported. And now you're going to invite that younger you in to this beautiful, magical place, that younger you that may have experienced some kind of pain, but the younger you that created or experienced the beginning of this wounding, whether it's the mother wound, the father wound, the school wound, the young core wound, wherever it comes from, just allowing that younger you to come forward. That's right. And allow that younger you to just stand in front of you or beside you, whatever feels right for that younger you. And just notice how that younger you looks. Are they confident? Are they happy? Just notice how they look. Notice what they're wearing. And in that moment that wounding was created, what did that younger you need? And how can you give that to that younger you now? You are here with all of the resources that you have as an adult. What can you do to give that to that younger you now? And whatever that is, just go ahead and do it. Whether it's a hug, a kind word, perhaps it's even bending down, looking in their eyes and telling them that you love them and that they're going to be okay. Just take a moment. Now, in those moments that your younger you experienced this wounding and the ongoing pattern, that younger you created some positive resources for you. These were created because of all of the challenges that they went through. So I'd like you now to just allow those beautiful, positive inner resources that were created for you by this beautiful younger you. Just allow them to come forward so that you can recognize them. And if you need help, you can ask your higher self to show you what those are. And we'll take a moment just to allow those positive inner resources to come in so that you can become aware of all of the gifts that this younger you created. And now I'd like you to just let that younger you know that you are them and that they get through everything that they have been through. They get through all of those challenges and they grow up to be you, this amazing adult that has so many creative and wonderful resources and abilities and opportunities in life. And just thanking them for all of those wonderful, positive resources that they created for you when they took on those challenges as a child. And you can let them know what those are. Maybe it's courage or resilience. Maybe it's patience. The list can be endless. And if there's anything else that this younger you needs, you can give that to them now. And allowing that beautiful higher self who stands beside you to wrap its beautiful light around that younger you. Allowing that younger you to feel safe, nurtured, connected, accepted, and loved unconditionally. And now just allow that light to come all the way around you as well, connecting you, your higher self, and the younger you. Feel what it feels like to be standing in the light of your own source, feeling whole, returning back to wholeness. And I'd like you now to create a gift for that younger you, something that that younger you can hold in their hand that will allow them to remember their own empowerment, something they can take with them on their journey. That's right. And if you need to, you can ask your higher self for help. Just creating that little gift for that younger you, that symbol of empowerment, and just giving that gift now. And now pulling that younger you right into your heart, pulling that younger you right into your heart, and just allowing them to mature up through all of the years, all the way to your present age, feeling surrounded by acceptance and love, unconditional love and connection, feeling their own worthiness, knowing that they have every reason to be here. They are unique and special. That's right. And now just allowing your higher self to come right into your body as well, allowing you to hold as much light of your higher self as you can in this moment, and having your unconscious mind and your higher self integrate all of these changes across all the layers and densities, whether they're known or unknown. Just allowing yourself to feel that beautiful, beautiful light in your heart of unconditional love and acceptance, a deep sense of your own worthiness. And just allow that to spread through your whole body. And I'm going to count up from 1 to 3 to just bring you back to this time and space. Fully integrated, fully whole, feeling so good about returning to your wholeness, knowing that a very large part of you has been healed and is holding you in a place of integration, multidimensionality, and moving ahead in positive ways. And 1, taking a nice big breath in. 2, coming back to the room, you are whole. You are here. And just telling yourself today, in your mind, your present age and today's date, if you know it. You are alert, you are wide awake on 3 right now. That's it, right back in the surface. Your eyes are open, taking a big breath in and feeling how it feels to have healed and started that healing process of healing the mother or father wound, that deep core wound. And just seeing how good it feels to be back in the room in your body. So thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed that. You will be able to listen to the replay and do it again if you like, and if you need to. Yeah, I'm going to put it into a separate video as well, so you don't have to be looking for it. So that's a little bit on the wounds that we carry and how they manifest in our emotional lives and how they impact our programming. And at the heart of radical self-love is this truth. The parts of you that were hurt, they're not broken. You are not broken. Those parts are waiting to be seen, to be loved, and brought back home. The mother and father wounds are not here to punish us. They're here to awaken us. They show us where love was distorted, so we can now choose to love ourselves differently. The wound is not who you are. It's the doorway back to your truth, to your own beautiful heart. And when we heal the wounds, we reclaim our light. So healing these wounds is not about being perfect. Nobody's perfect. I mean, we're all just who we are doing our best, right? But it's about choosing presence over pattern, choosing awareness over autopilot, and choosing compassion over old ways of coping. So, in today's episode, we talked about what core wounds are, how to identify them, to get the healing underway. We did a little journey here to get the healing underway. And I invite you to reflect on these questions. I'm going to leave you with a few questions to deepen the healing process. Okay. So, what survival pattern did I create to cope with not feeling enough? What positive resources did I create for myself going through those experiences? It's so important for us to recognize the gifts that we get by going through challenging things. We build positive parts of ourselves based on the difficult things that we go through. And so understanding and identifying and connecting to what positive resources were created is a part of the healing process. It allows us to strip the experience and to take the positive and let the negative go. But we must understand the learning, the understanding, and the wisdom that we've created for ourselves in going through those things. So, what positive resources did I create for myself going through those experiences? What's the one thing my younger self still needs to hear? And what does my higher self want me to know about healing this in my journey? Lovely. Okay, so if this episode stirred something in you, if you want to go deeper, I invite you to explore one-on-one sessions with me, regression work with me, trauma work with me, or you can look at the tools that I have in my book, Radical Self-Love, Live a Vibrant Life Without Fear and Limitation. It's full of tools. So if you enjoyed this podcast, I hope you will please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel or my podcast channel. And please, please, please consider sharing this podcast with someone that you love. I want to thank you so much for listening. And I am sending so much love and light and healing to all of you. Many blessings.